This is the MCTV Weekday Update.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Monday edition of MCTV Weekday Update. I'm Shelby Kimball.
And I'm Kayla Conboy. Texas Tech's Red and Black Week continues today as high school students and their parents walk through campus to take tours and visit colleges. University Day was one of the events held at the United Supermarkets Arena earlier today. The event allows high school students and their families to see all of the opportunities that Texas Tech has in store. Students talk to faculties and staff members one-on-one and get a taste of college life on campus.
Speaking of college life, some students live the daily struggle of rolling out of bed in time for their 8 a.m. classes. Cameron Court caught up with a student and an instructor to get their perspectives of the effects of early morning classes.
For many students, it's challenging enough to get out of bed, but is that affecting your grades? I got the chance to speak with Brett Brown, a journalism major here at Tech.
The first thought that I have when my 8 a.m. alarm goes off, it actually goes off at about 7 a.m., but when that alarm goes off, it is like, oh my gosh, I have to get up. That alarm comes around way too quickly. My 8 a.m. actually changes my sleep pattern a lot. There's some days where I need to get homework done, and knowing that I have a class at 8 a.m. and I'm going to have to get up at 7 o'clock anyway, if I'm up doing homework at 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm probably actually going to pull an all-nighter. Other nights, if I don't have a lot to do, I'll usually go to bed around midnight and get a typical like 7 or 6 or so hours. So that 8 a.m. actually does change my sleep pattern a lot.
And according to healthguide.org, at night your body responds to the loss of daylight by producing melatonin. During the day, sunlight triggers the brain to inhibit melatonin production to feel awake and alert. So when we wake up before the sun has risen, our bodies are still in sleep mode. I also got the opportunity to talk to Professor Cam Stone, who teaches many classes here at Tech, such as writing for electronic media.
They're a lot more sleepy. It's very quiet at 8 a.m. I don't get a whole lot of student interaction until about 8:30 or, right before class ends when they've had their coffee and they're waking up. The bell curve is usually good for me, and by the bell curve I mean there's typically some people that fail it, a few D's, a few C's, a lot of B's, a few A's, so it kind of curves out. In all of my classes, I don't really see any difference morning or afternoon, whatever.
A study at UNT found that the more of a morning person you are, the more likely you are to have a higher GPA.
There are morning people and afternoon people for sure, so I'm sure that comes into play, but like I said, the bell curve usually plays out on most every assignment.
Academically, I feel that I do just the same as I do in my other classes that I do in my 8 a.m., but studying-wise, it's a little bit more difficult because, like I said, if I have to study for a test for an 8 a.m. and I'm studying later in the evening, it's more difficult to get proper sleep before that 8 a.m. test.
Next time you're picking your classes, keep this in mind. I'm Cameron Court for MCTV.
Homecoming week kicks off today, and students have multiple ways to get involved and show some school pride. The annual competition of spirit boards and banners has already kicked off. Spirit boards are now on display at the Broadway entrance to campus, and spirit banners hang throughout the sub. There are events every day for homecoming week, including pep rallies and a bonfire on Friday. TAB kicked off their week of activities by introducing candidates for the homecoming court on the North Plaza of the sub. Students could get free hot dogs and t-shirts, grab a photo with the masked rider or saddle tramps, and get excited for the week's activities.
And there is a lot more coming up between now and the big game. The Red Raiders will kick off a homecoming game at 2:30 this Saturday, playing against Kansas at the Jones. During halftime, the homecoming court and the winning king and queen will be announced. There will also be a student tailgate in the parking lot off 15th in Detroit. This year's homecoming events kick off with an all-day Hollywood movie screening tomorrow. You can catch the James Bond action flick Casino Royale throughout the day at the Sub's Escondido Theater. For a list of all events, visit the website listed on your screen. I hope temperatures warm up for the homecoming game this weekend. Maybe we can take off the jackets and put on...
Yeah, I actually grabbed my leather jacket today because it's really cold, and then at the game on Saturday, it was pretty chilly. So let's take a look at this week's forecast. Today we had cooler temperatures with a high of 67 and a low tonight of 42, but temperatures will heat up a bit with a high of 74 tomorrow and a low in the mid-40s. Wednesday we will have clear skies with a high of 83 and a low of 53, but luckily there's a 0% chance of rain this week, so things should stay warm and dry this homecoming week. Well, that's all for today's edition of the MCTV Weekday Update.
Thanks for joining us, and be sure to check out ttuhub.net every day for more news. We'll see you tomorrow.